This is the section of damaged drywall that we're starting with. This was how the renter left the property. It looks like maybe somebody kicked this and then put one of those metal patches over it and a ton of drywall putty, and obviously this is just how it got left. So we're going to go ahead and just cut out everything they did instead of trying to mess around with it. Rather than worrying about taking measurements, I'm just going to hold my piece that I'm going to be patching with up to the wall and make marks with my razor blades of where I need to make my cut. I cut my patch piece to size, and then I used these drywall clips for patches. I've never used them before, but I think they're a good option. I'll share a link if you want to try them out, but I'm also very familiar with and usually use just a board behind to reinforce and secure the patch piece too. So either is a great option, just kind of depending on your preference. On one of these patches with these sets of clips, I did have a hard time getting my screw to grab in one location, but other than that, I didn't have any trouble. Now, the important thing with any patch is any screws you use, you want to countersink them, meaning you want them to be a little bit deeper into the drywall because you don't want them to be sticking out. Once you have your patch secured, meaning you have a screw on the patch piece and a screw on the other side of the bracket on the existing drywall, then you're go ahead and you're just going to bend these little tabs back and forth until they break off. They should break off underneath the drywall. I didn't have any problem with that process, and then you can go ahead and start the actual patching process with the compound. Next, we're going to go ahead and get some mud. You can either buy a pre-mixed mud, you can mix your own, whatever your preference is, but we're going to go ahead with mud and tape around the joints, and you can use any type of tape that you prefer. I like Fibofuse tape. It seems to be thinner and easier to cover up. When I first started, I was taught with that mesh tape, but I feel like, man, it takes a lot of coats to cover that up, and if a little piece is showing, you got to do another layer of putty. And so for me, Fibofuse has become one of my new favorites, or a paper tape. Again, I just think it's easier to cover, but use whatever is your preference. Once this dries, I'm going to come back and I'm going to sand the edge with a sanding sponge. You really want to get down any of those edges where your new patch blends into your old drywall. We're going to put texture over this and blend it out, but if you have any visible straight lines or inorganic lines, those are going to stick out even through your texture. So it's important to do the work here. The awesome thing about drywall is you can do this as many times as you need. You can scrape it, you can sand it, you can even get it wet with a rag or a sponge. This is water soluble until you paint it. So it's going to give you a lot of grace. You can see there's a section here where I had a divot and I needed a little bit more compound. So I added that, I let it set up, and then I came back and sanded again. So work with it. You can do no wrong until you paint it. So do the work here, and the covering with the texture is going to be a lot easier. Once my final coat of patching has set up, I'm going to sand this one more time before I put the texture over this. I can't stress this enough. Don't trick yourself and make yourself think that if there's imperfections, you're going to cover them up with a texture. In this case, we had an orange peel texture on these walls. This house was built like 40 something years ago. So we're going to do a spray texture over this. But if there's imperfections beneath, they are going to project through the texture. So spend the time here. Otherwise, you're going to hate it and you're going to have to live with it. Or you're going to have to scrape your spray texture off and come back to this step again. So really take your time here. I promise it will be worth it. These cans of spray texture can definitely overspray, well, any texturing can. So you really want to make sure that you tape off everything that you don't want to spray. It's as simple as painter's tape and some flyers from your Home Depot. You can get this spray texture in water-based or oil-based. I like the water-based. It's a little bit more user-friendly if you have to remove it or clean it off of anything, so that's what I like to use. Before you start on the wall, if you've never used this before, or even if maybe you're just working with a different brand than you've worked with before, I would recommend getting a sample piece of wood or drywall or paper, just so you can kind of feel how the texture comes out of the gun. You can adjust these, a lot of them from light to medium to heavy, and so just play with it a little bit before you're actually working on your wall. The next thing I would say is keep in mind, you're not only patching the patch, because if you just spray on the patch, then it's not going to match the area around. You're going to cover your new piece of drywall because it's flat and the surrounding areas have texture, but you're also working on blending it to the surrounding areas. So I always go out further than the area that I'm just patching, because we want to blend into the surrounding area as much as we possibly can. One thing I have found is that when you spray the new texture and you have the surrounding texture has probably been painted over the years, time and time again. So it's almost a duller, more muted texture. And then you have this fresh, brand new texture. And so what I like to do is, once it's set up a little bit, now you want this to be pretty set up. And with the water base, the nice thing is you can sand this or scrape or whatever and have no problem. You come back with some flat edge and kind of blend it. We're kind of muting the new texture into the other. We don't want it to be wet enough that we're smearing it, but we're kind of just knocking down the rough edges on the new texture. My opinion, this is what really makes the new patch blend in best. Once your texture dries, if you're not satisfied with how everything looks, remember we have used all water-soluble products. So all of this can be scraped, sanded down, or even wiped off with a damp sponge or like microfiber rag. If you're happy with how it looks, we're gonna go ahead and prime it before we move on. One of the biggest problems I see with patches is that people do not prime them and then they paint them with the same paint and it has a different sheen and it doesn't blend the same way. So we wanna get a good coat of primer on here. Once your primer dries, you can come back in with your paint. And here I have a wet coat on, and I'm gonna do one more coat at least of paint on here to blend it into the surrounding walls. And one more time, here's our before and here's our after.